got to be driving on the same lane as me too. Jeez. Oh, non-driving, old driving, probably ain't got nowhere to go but McDonald's ass. Anyway, I titled this entitlement for others, and it's a little bit misconstrued the way I titled it. I meant to say people who think they're entitled to other people's property, which is the original title. I may have to retitle it because you got people. Hold on, man, what are you doing? You sitting there all day. Oh my God. And I don't drive that fast, but there's people that driving really slow, man. But anyway, the reason why I say that, because you got people out here, certain folks out here, who think because you work hard to have what you have. You know, you go to a daily 9 to 5, you know, you work your tail off to have the things that you need or want to have in your life. And some people see it as like they feel like it's an entitlement for them to be able to try to take advantage to take it from you. I know that someone that happened to recently, and that doesn't make any sense, man. It's really a dirty shame that somebody would do that, man. What are these guys doing? Really? And I thought I was bad. Oh my God, I don't want to do this. I don't, but they made no choice. It's ridiculous, man. I gotta get to work. It's a slow dragging. Now, people think I'm bad driving slow. I usually don't do that, but I had to do it because this fool was just acting like a complete ass. I gotta go to work, you know. But anyway, I feel personally that those people don't have a right to just take what they want to take just because you work to have it. You know, it's something called go get you a job. You know, I'm tired of people who think they're entitled to just try to take what you own. You know, and feel that it's okay. It's not okay. It's never okay to do that. You know, but them same people won't go into a predominantly white neighborhood and do that because they know what the consequences are going to be. See, we try not to have to do that to somebody. You know, and sometimes you even suspect people of attempting to do that. You know, I did last week. You know, somebody got a car in front of my yard. You know, they weren't doing it. They just sit up in the car doing, I don't know what they're doing. But, you know, one dude had his car door open. I don't know what he's trying to do. I know I was up for the challenge if I had to be. I wasn't trying to be, but if I had to be, I would be. You know, but that's what it's gotten to be anymore, and it's really a sad state of affairs when you can't trust some of your own kind in your own neighborhood because some of these people are so daggone jealous of what you did to work to have what you have, and they can't understand it. You know, I talked about this before. There was a relative or in-law that I knew that I had to go pick up to take care of some business, personal family business. On his family business, by the way. He wasn't even driving. I was driving. So I went to go pick him up, and dude talking about some, you know, because he called about 35 minutes, almost 45 minutes before I picked him up, right? He lives in apartment. I get there 35 minutes later, he still wasn't ready. And in mind, he's got way younger than I was. Well, now I take that back. No, he's not about a year older than I was. This is years ago, you know. But still, you know, very, very mobile, all right? And yet, this dude took forever to get ready. And he had his complaint was, oh, I don't have a house. What the hell you not having a house got to do with any damn thing? Yeah. That's his lame excuse was, I don't have a house. Like, this is my responsibility to give you a house? I don't make that kind of money, number one. Number two, you supposed to have your ass ready. This was a business thing that you had to deal with, for you, not me. This was not for me. This was for you, and you won't complain about it because you wasn't ready because you didn't have a house. Dumbest, lamest reason ever. You got some folks that just feel entitled. You feel entitled. You feel entitled like, oh, because I wasn't ready on time because I didn't have a house. They don't matter whether your house or apartment. You're supposed to have your ass ready. And besides, if you have a house, it takes longer to get ready because you got other things you got to check. Dude, really? Seriously? It just don't make any sense. People just come up with all these daggone damn excuses about dumb stuff. And that to me, I kind of felt that was a sense of entitlement. Oh, I'm not entitled to have what you have, but you don't know the degree of what it took to get there, bruh. Real talk. The clear jealousy of folks, man. It's just like, this is probably why my lady's like, you mess with people. I sure don't. This is exactly why. Because you got people out there that feel because you work hard to have what you have, that they're entitled to have what you have, or think you ain't supposed to do what they couldn't do. I say that's BS. I just have a problem with that. I got a problem with people, always have a problem with you hard to have what you have, and they think that they entitled to have what you had, and didn't do what they did, like you did what you did to do what you don't. You don't know what it took for me. It took me a lot of nights going from school after work. I had to catch a metro and 2 buses to get home. Out in Capitol Heights, District Heights. That's what it took. Maryland. From Virginia. That's what it took. Took a lot of sacrifice. I had to get up, be ready to roll to work by 7:30 on the road. Yeah, the next morning. So it took a lot. People just have no idea about the things that some of us do to sacrifice to have the things we have out here today. Some people just don't understand. Or don't care to understand. All they care is about, well, I'm supposed to do that too. Well, you can do it too. You got to do what I do. Otherwise, STFU, if you know what I mean. Shut the F up. I get sick of that mess, man. This entitlement is real, man. And you got families like that too, man. I've had family members tell me, oh, we got this big old house. And my house, first of all, my house is not that big, number one. Number two, it doesn't matter if I got a house or not. The point of it is people work to have what they have. And it doesn't matter to you about what they have. I ain't got much. I don't have any more much than what you got. The difference is, though, some people may work harder to get what they want. And some people just don't understand that. Wow. They just don't understand it. I just, and not only that, there are people who are jealous of you because of the fact that you actually went and got a career and didn't make the sacrifice. In other words, you made the sacrifice for what you had to do and go out and get, and they didn't. But yet still, they're wondering how it was okay for you to get what you get based on the sacrifice you made to get the positions and stuff that you wanted to get, because you made the sacrifice. It's just simple as that. Bottom line, those nights coming off work and then having a half hour, because what they did, and this is the slick part about it, and which to this day I still understand. I used to work from 8:30 to 5 every day, right? Every single day, 5 o'clock, right? My classes started about 6:30, something like that. And what they would do, they would amp up my time for deliveries. I used to make deliveries and stuff for them. They would amp up my time, by half an hour before I left, just so I could be late for class. Seriously, because they found out You know, it's like, wow. So the stuff that they're doing now is kind of stuff that they were doing a little bit then too, but they didn't want you to get ahead. Dude, you gonna slow down because I gotta get over these people, man. I swear. But anyway, it's a mess, man. But the managers found out that I was actually trying to go to school, and they start pushing, but they start having me make late deliveries. Somewhere how or another, I got around it and got to school on time or a little bit late. But I did what I did. And I eventually left that company in 2000. In 1999 after working there for 10 straight years, making no money. You know, but people gotta do what they gotta do out here as far as trying to elevate themselves and everything. You know, people think it's easy to elevate. Working hard pays off. Sometimes certain sacrifices, like give them certain hours. And it was the sad part about it for me was my son at the time was only like 3 years old, and I was missing a lot of times trying to put him to bed and stuff. And I still, well, he was almost about 4 years old. I'm sorry, but still, but still, I was still missing putting him to bed and all that, man. Because he was used to me reading books and all that, and I had to sacrifice. It was a hard, very hard sacrifice, man. But it paid off. I'm not wealthy. I'm not. I'm really not. I'm just an average guy. Just wanted to, do something a little bit better than what I was doing. And you got people out here that just sit on the laurels waiting to see what somebody else did and try to take the opportunities or try to get advantage of what somebody else did through them instead of doing it themselves. That's what I hate. That's one of the biggest problems with our community today. It is. It still is. It's a damn shame. It's a shame. It's ridiculous, folks. But that's all I had to say right now. I just had to get it off my chest because, we got people out here to steal from our own people, just because of something that they wanted, but they wasn't willing to work to get what they had. That's why I'm saying what I'm saying. So I just wanted to put that out there, folks. I mean, it just, and then now we're getting hurt by the powers that be out here, taking away advantages for DEI and stuff like that. Stuff that our people work for, But people think that's entitlement. That's not entitlement. That's giving us an opportunity, the right to be able to be played fair with in terms of getting opportunities to jobs and stuff like that. Something that we were denied for decades and decades and decades, man. That's what DEI is about. And now they're trying to do away with that, where they are doing away with that. It makes me sick to my stomach. That's not entitlement. We work for that. Entitlement is just something somebody just gives you just because they just want to give it to you. I mean that because you think you deserve to get it. The thing with DEI is more to do with playing, giving you a fair platform to be able to compete for positions and stuff like that. We were denied stuff like that based on our color. That was part of what DEI was. Which is affirmative action. And that's it's basically affirmative action. But it makes me sick. Oh, you're not supposed to have that. You work for it, but you ain't supposed to have it. That's BS. Same process. So. All right, guys. That's all I got for right now. This is DJ Wolf. I appreciate y'all listening, watching, and tuning in. And thanks for liking and subscribing to my channel. I'm out.